Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In a stunning and emotional fallout no fan could have predicted, but every longtime viewer secretly anticipated, Robyn Brown has been left out again, and this time, it's not just a snub, it's a takedown. As the dust settles from the aftermath of Sister Wives Season 19, the tension between Robyn Brown and the rest of the former Sister Wives has hit an all-time high. While she may have once been seen as the favorite, the legal wife, or the chosen one, it's clear now that the tide is turned, and Janelle Brown isn't pulling any punches anymore. The long-held whispers about Robyn's manipulative role behind the scenes have finally erupted into full-on confrontation, and Janelle has gone public in ways that not only validate the viewers' suspicions, but also permanently shatter Robyn's once carefully curated image. And the receipts? They're everywhere. It all began with what should have been a quiet social media update. Janelle posted a serene, joyful photo of herself, Christine, their daughters, and even some of their grandchildren enjoying a weekend getaway in Utah. The caption read, "Healing. Growth. Surrounded by love and laughter. No drama needed. Innocent? Maybe. But what caught fans' attention wasn't what was in the photo, it was who wasn't. No Robyn. No Kody. No mention of the so-called only remaining couple of the original polygamist clan. And the comments? Explosive. Thousands of followers flooded Janelle's post with support and pointed out the glaring exclusion. But what followed next is what truly confirmed that Robyn's era of sympathy is over. Janelle liked several fan comments calling Robyn out. One fan wrote, "Robyn's tears always show up when she wants control. So proud of you and Christine for walking away." And another, "Notice how peaceful it looks without Robyn or Kody. That tells you everything you need to know." Janelle didn't just scroll past, she hit that like button multiple times, signaling loud and clear that she's no longer interested in sugarcoating Robyn's role in the family's implosion. But the drama didn't stop there. Just days after the viral post, Janelle joined Christine for a wellness podcast episode where she was asked, point blank, "Do you think all the wives were treated equally?" What followed was a pause, so long you could hear Christine hold her breath. And then, Janelle unleashed the truth. "No," she said plainly. "It was never equal. And Robyn knew that. She played into it. She benefited from it. And while some of us were working full-time, raising kids alone, and waiting years for promises to be fulfilled, others were given homes, money, and constant validation. That's not love. That's favoritism, and it destroyed the family." Boom. That was the moment Robyn's image cracked beyond repair. Fans who had long accused Robyn of manipulating Kody, crying on cue, and hoarding resources at the expense of her sister wives finally felt vindicated. But it didn't stop there. Janelle continued, "There was a lot that the cameras didn't catch. A lot of backdoor conversations. A lot of moments where we were told this is for the good of the family, but really, it was just Robyn getting what she wanted. And when we started pushing back, suddenly we were the villains. Suddenly we were disobedient. That narrative was shaped to protect one person." Let that sink in. That narrative was shaped to protect one person. And we all know who that person is. Meanwhile, Robyn, who has remained publicly silent, was reportedly devastated by the comments. Insiders say she feels betrayed, especially by Janelle, who had once been one of the few sister wives she felt neutral with. But Janelle's calm, composed, fact-driven takedown didn't come from a place of rage. It came from years of repressed pain finally being given a platform. And that makes it all the more powerful. This wasn't tabloid mudslinging. This was the truth, laid bare. And the proof? It just keeps coming. Fans began combing through past episodes with fresh eyes, and what they found was damning. In Season 14, Robyn insisted on renting $1 million house while Janelle was living in an RV with no electricity. In Season 17, Kody refused to visit his kids with Janelle, but was shown doting on Robyn's children without hesitation. In Season 18, Robyn's tears dominated the screen, while Janelle's pleas for fairness were dismissed as being too independent. And now, With the benefit of hindsight and Janelle's candid truth-telling, the manipulation is impossible to ignore. Even Mary, who once clung to Robyn as a source of validation after being emotionally abandoned by Kody, has started quietly distancing herself. She has unfollowed Robyn on social media, hasn't tagged her in a single post since season 19 aired, and noticeably left her out of her gratitude list posts that included both Christine and Janelle. Fans believe a reckoning has come, and Robyn's victim mask is falling off faster than anyone expected. But Janelle's most devastating strike came not in a comment, not in a photo, and not in a podcast, but in a speech at a women's empowerment retreat she co-hosted with Christine. There, in front of an audience of nearly 300 women, Janelle was asked, "What advice would you give your younger self?" She looked out at the crowd, took a breath, and said, "Don't shrink yourself to make someone else more comfortable. Don't believe the lie that staying quiet keeps the peace. And don't trust people who cry when they don't get their way, but stay silent when you're hurting." The crowd erupted. The message was clear. She didn't name Robyn, but everyone knew. Now, fans are calling this Janelle's era of truth and rallying behind her like never before. There's trending support across social platforms for a spin-off featuring just Janelle and Christine. Fans want them to take the brand, leave Robyn and Kody behind, and finally thrive without having to play the supporting roles in someone else's drama. And based on Janelle's energy lately, that's exactly what she intends to do. She no longer walks on eggshells. She no longer defends the past. She's rising, and she's doing it with grace and fire. Meanwhile, Robyn is reportedly struggling. Her once pristine image of the sweet, misunderstood wife is falling apart. Sources close to the Brown family say she's more isolated than ever, and that even her relationship with Kody has shown signs of strain. With no sister wives left and the public turning against her, Robyn may finally be forced to reckon with the consequences of her manipulations. The very thing she wanted, monogamy with Kody, has left her emotionally cornered, and Janelle's refusal to protect her anymore has ripped the last layer of insulation away. So, where does this leave the family? Splintered, scorched, and more honest than ever. For the first time, the veil is gone. Robyn isn't just being left out, she's being held accountable. And Janelle? She's leading the charge with grace, clarity, and a quiet fury that has turned her from the quiet second wife into the voice of the women who were wronged. Robyn left out isn't a coincidence anymore, it's a statement. And Janelle just made it loud and clear. Kody Brown did not share Mary Brown's wish for a spiritual divorce. Even though Janelle and Christine felt they didn't need to divorce Kody since their marriage was never legal, Mary asked their church for an official separation or release in late 2022. She explained on the September 22nd episode that it was through our church when each of us 4 ladies married Kody. Obviously, we can't all be legally married, but it was what we called a covenant. So I feel like it's best to terminate that because we're not moving forward with any marriage and I don't want to be, sealed to him for eternity if he doesn't want me. And I'm in a place that, let's just separate this completely. Because he did not want to acknowledge the authority of the church officials, she continued, Kody was against the idea. Kody stated, "The damage was done so badly that we're not going to reconcile no matter what," referring to his stance. And so, however, we are made accountable to God. I don't want to be accountable to this church and all their BS. So I'm going to let Mary go and do her thing because if I'm angry at her, it becomes a fight. And I needed her just to go away because it just took forever for her to finally realize it's been done and over for years. Many of Kody Brown's children don't converse with one another. A text message argument concerning a 2021 holiday gift exchange turned particularly ugly for the 18 Brown kids. Christine clarified, "It all went bad, it all went south. Kody and Robyn and their kids were on one side, and they wanted nothing to do with Janelle, me, our kids. And there was a split that happened after this text thread. But it was never anything about, we don't want to see you again, we don't want anything to do with you," Robyn insisted, adding that her 3 older children suggested they break up with the relationship because they felt the talk was emotionally unsafe. It was just about, hey, this got yucky. For his part, Gabriel hopes they can find each other once more. In the episode that aired on October 13th, he said, "The thing I want most is to just have a relationship with Robyn's children again." In middle school, Aurora was my favorite person to hang out with. And in high school, I would always try to hit Dayton up. But I'm not hopeful for a relationship with Dad and Robyn. Robyn Brown's kids never felt like they belonged in the family. I've been told directly, multiple circumstances by multiple different people, that I was not accepted. Aurora's mother said when she married Kody in 2010, stating that I wasn't their sister and that they didn't think or consider me that way. According to her sister Brianna, the parents could have done a better job with, connecting us as a family, and it never really happened. Christine is unsure of how they might have given each other a hug, though. She made sure that Robyn and Robyn's children were invited to everything. I would just say, just come into the house anytime you want. Michael T. Brown Padron lived with Robyn's kids for a while, and her daughter Isabel Brown was close to them, she added. There were hard times and my kids were frustrated, but they always considered Robyn's kids their siblings, just the same. Janelle Brown would remarry, but Kody Brown would not. Lashing out at the autonomy she received through multiple marriages. When it's functioning correctly, you have this amazing family unit that you're part of, a community that you're plugged into. You have a husband and you have a great relationship with him, and you have everything, right? And then I have all my independence. So to me, plural marriage really was a really great arrangement. However, Kody would never say "I do" to polygamy again. He stated, "Polygamy kills emotional intimacy," on the December 1st broadcast. "It makes everybody defensive, and I really want an emotionally vulnerable, intimate relationship with a woman, and you're not going to get that in polygamy." Kody Brown started to separate from Janelle Brown years ago. Janelle says Kody had a harder time letting go of his feelings once the family relocated from Las Vegas to Arizona in 2018. "I'm really tired. I'm like, well, you can rest at my house just as much as you can rest at Robyn's house," she said on the September 29th show. Kody found it a lot easier to be away when he moved to Flagstaff. She also disclosed that he would attempt to grovel because he was exhausted, adding, "A couple of times I had to remind him that he needed to come to my house." Robyn Brown's home was not a favorite among Janelle Brown and Christine Brown Woolley's kids. Janelle explained the separateness her brood felt with Robyn, adding, "My children were scolded if they would open up Robyn's fridge." The issue with Christine's kids, however, was that they saw that Robyn and their dad were a couple and he wasn't in our home. Her staff knew about the division, Robyn added. On the show on September 29th, she said, "Mary was very accepting of my kids and I overall, but the rest of the family really struggled to accept my kids and I. All we wanted to do was be a part of this family." Gabriel, meanwhile, would argue that he and his siblings actively sought to include them. "I think that Robyn definitely has a victim complex," he said in the October 13th episode. "I mean, to put it bluntly. And I don't necessarily blame her for that. I think that different people do, devise different strategies to keep themselves afloat." However, he continued, "If she actually believes that we were mistreating her or her children in any way when she was constantly getting favorited by Dad, and we were always working on our relationship with her kids, if she actually believes that, then there's no chance of me having a relationship with Robyn ever again." Robyn and Kody Brown's parenting methods were questioned by Janelle Brown. Having their dad move between 4 different homes did affect their 18 children, as Kody explained in the September 29th episode when he and Robyn's youngest child, Ariella, who was born in January 2016, clung to his leg as he attempted to leave. "I had to explain to her, there's another wife that needs me, another mommy. I got other kids that need to see me," Kody recalled. The children knew from the very beginning, Janelle insisted, that their dad wasn't going to be there all the time. "And she's just dragging along on my leg screaming, 'Don't leave me, Daddy, don't leave me.' And I think to myself, golly man, this is hard." "Unfortunately, that's just a reality of plural marriage," she said. "I've always thought Robyn and Kody handled her kids' problems poorly. Ari gets really depressed or something, so he couldn't be gone for longer than 3 or 4 days. I think that was a bad parenting move. The other children have done it throughout the family's history, and they're doing just fine. They are mature, well-adjusted individuals. The relationship between Robyn Brown and Michael T. Padron was intimate. Michael T., a mother of 3 and one of the few Brown children still close to Robyn and Kody, along with Christine and Janelle, served as a peacekeeper during Kody's divorces. Michael T. was asked to attend the birth of her twins, Archer and Ace, in November 2022, and Robyn had been close to her since she joined the Brown family. In the September 29th episode, Michael T. stated, "When Robyn first joined the family, I was trying to figure out who I was, and she made me feel special, and she made me feel seen. Robyn was there for me when I needed somebody," Michael T. remarked. "When I needed someone to listen to me and show me love, she was there." In the October 6th episode, Christine, her mother, expressed her excitement, saying, "It was everything that I hoped for when Robyn entered the family, and it was clear that she and Michael T. had a great relationship. When I was so excited about having a plural family, I was hoping that my kids would have a great relationship with other moms." One of Kody Brown's children was allegedly brainwashed by him. In the October 6th episodes, Kody shared his thoughts on his distance from some of his older children, saying, "They're purposely leaving me out of their lives to punish me for a crime I did not commit. I am only guilty of not falling madly in love with their mothers." Kody feels that more than just his wives have taken him out of their lives. He also stated that he thinks his ex-spouses bear some of the blame. There's this cyclone of disappointment from the family breaking up or whatever, and it's like, well, blame Dad. He said, "This discrepancy in relationship with my children is directly in my mind due of SD talk. Dad made a mistake." Kody revealed that one of his kids responded to a text message saying, "You are a piece of trash," even though he takes some of the blame anyway. He made the noteworthy statement that he was experiencing problems getting in touch with Hunter, Maddie, and Gabriel. "I would never speak to you again anyway. I've had a child just say, 'You're a jerk. I will never speak to you again.'" In another episode, he said to cameras, "You brainwashed me and you manipulated me." And he doesn't want to deal with that poison. "I'm not going to reach out forever," he said, adding that he thinks his grown children should be doing more to put things right. "I'm willing to make the effort, but somebody else is going to have to be on the other end of that and make some effort too." Robyn Brown struggled to respect Kody Brown as a mom. Robyn was deeply hurt by Kody's estrangement from his adult children. She stated, "My parents got divorced when I was little. He lived with one wife in another city, and then my mom lived alone," she claimed on the October 6th episode. "I recall asking what happened to my biological father. Why? He merely offered a series of weak justifications for his lack of support during my formative years, and it was awful." During their furious on-camera fight in late 2022, she said, "I'm having a hard time not, feeling like losing respect for you a little bit." She was determined not to allow Kody's hurt feelings stop him from trying. Kody acknowledged that he might be doing more to strengthen his bond with his kids, but he maintained that he needed to mend his heart first. He claimed that some of his kids were colluding against me, saying, "I'm so upset about what occurred that I'm afraid they'll accuse me if I talk to my kids. I'm too impulsive at the moment. I'll only cause more harm." For years, Kody Brown did not see his grandchildren. Much of the family was there when Logan, Janelle and Kody's eldest son, married his now-wife Michelle Petty in October 2022, but they weren't feeling the love. "You saw Madison take her kids and scuttle them away from me," Kody blasted Robyn on the October 6th episode, pointing out that his daughter had not told him she was expecting her third child, Josephine, who was born in February 2023. Maddie doesn't really tell her dad anything because they don't communicate much. When questioned why her daughter avoided Kody at the wedding, Janelle explained, "Really, Maddie doesn't have any contact with him. She is fiercely protective of her kids. Since Evie was born and Evie was 3.5 years old, Kody has not been present. What does Kody think?" She also didn't want him to simply enter the room and say, "Oh, I'm your grandpa," followed by the question, "What? Who is this individual?" He said, "It's unrealistic expectation for grandparents to be in their grandchildren's lives all the time, especially if you move your children to an entirely different coast. I have a work and a life in Flagstaff, just like Maddie did in North Carolina." Kody Brown asked his kids to apologize to Robyn Brown. Kody's insistence on some sort of mea culpa is one persistent problem, despite the fact that it's clear that he and his adult children have very different opinions on their ongoing separation. After the COVID scare was over and we all went back to our normal lives, we still couldn't reconcile as a family because Kody felt like the boys needed to give an apology to him and to Robyn, especially to Robyn, Janelle recounted in the October 13th video.